Okay, let me break this down because what's happening with Beyoncé right now isn't just a legal drama. It's a window into how messy the music industry can get. So here's the quick version. Beyoncé's being sued over a sample on her Renaissance track Alien Superstar. A company called Hirose claims she used a spoken word clip from a song called Moonraker without permission. But wait, this isn't just about clearance paperwork. Let's dive into why this case is way more fascinating than a typical copyright spat. First off, the sample in question isn't even a melody or a beat. It's a spoken word intro. Now, personally, I think this highlights how even the smallest creative choice can blow up into a lawsuit. Artists sample hooks, riffs, drums all the time, but spoken words? That's a different beast legally. And here's where it gets juicy. Hirose says Beyoncé's team only got permission after the album dropped, but only from the performer, not the actual rights holder. See the loophole? Wait, let's unpack this ownership chain. The original track Moonraker was performed by John Holiday, but Hirose claims they own the rights because Holiday transferred his interest decades ago. So when Beyoncé's team reached out to Holiday post-release, they might have thought they were clearing it, but legally, they were talking to the wrong person. What makes this really interesting is how often this happens in music. Artists assume they're getting full clearance, but the licensing chain is like a game of telephone. One misstep, and boom, you're in court. Now, Hirose isn't just asking for damages. They want Beyoncé to stop selling the track entirely. That's nuclear. Imagine if Alien Superstar had to be pulled from streaming. It's not just about money, it's about legacy. But here's the twist. Beyoncé's team is worth hundreds of millions. Even a massive payout here is a drop in the bucket. So why fight it? Because this sets a precedent. If they lose, every obscure sample could become a ransom note for artists. But let's zoom out. What this case really exposes is the absurd complexity of music rights. Like, how many people even know that spoken words can be copyrighted? Or that ownership can splinter like this? I'd argue most fans don't realize how much legal chess goes into making an album. And that's the irony. Beyoncé's Renaissance was a love letter to black music history, sampling legends like Major Glenn. Now it's caught in a battle over a sample most listeners wouldn't even notice. This raises a deeper question. Should artists have to navigate this labyrinth just to create? Or is the system broken? From my perspective, cases like this prove sampling laws need a total overhaul. We are in 2026. Why is clearing a sample still a Wild West scenario? And here's the kicker. If Beyoncé, with her army of lawyers, can trip over a sample, what hope do indie artists have? So what's next? Either Beyoncé pays up, or this goes to trial and becomes a case study in music law. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this settles quietly. Why? Because the music industry thrives on backroom deals. Public trials mean bad PR, and nobody wants that. Still, the damage is done. The story's out there. And now every producer's double-checking their sample chains. A detail I find fascinating is how this mirrors the Blurred Lines case. Back then, Pharrell lost millions because a vibe was deemed too similar. Now, it's about a literal voice snippet. Both cases show how subjective creativity can clash with ownership. But here's the difference. This isn't about inspiration, it's about technicality. And in law, technicalities win. So what's the takeaway? Maybe that art is never just art in the music world. It's a legal minefield. Or maybe that even Beyoncé isn't untouchable. But here's my final thought. As fans, we celebrate artists for pushing boundaries. But when those boundaries are drawn by lawyers, who really owns creativity? Let me know what you think down in the comments, because this conversation's just getting started.